Creating a rent resume might be the smartest thing you ever do. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, welcome to the channel. If you're new, I want to thank you for coming. If you're returning, I want to thank you for your continued support. As a licensed realtor right here in America, I've been living in the twilight zone. It has been absolute insanity working in real estate. We're in a huge housing bubble created by government stimulus and stimulus programs. Having lived through the last crash, I sleep much better at night, warning people, please be careful in these times. This is an artificial market we're in. We need the fiscal cliffs to end. We need the dust to settle. We need to pay the piper from the pandemic. So before we get into today's topic, I am going to politely ask you to leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and hit the bell icon so you're notified when new videos are released, and watch to the end for what should be my final thought. All right, folks, so thanks for checking in today. I hope you're all doing well. It is an absolute honor and a privilege to be with you. One of the things that we're facing now is, again, we are in a huge, not only real estate bubble, we're in a market bubble. This is all created from government sending stimulus checks to every household to go out and spend and keep the economy from crashing. And now they've created this two-headed monster. They don't know how to put it back in its cage. They're afraid to end programs because of the social unrest that could be created and the amount of economic fallout that will be produced. Make no mistake about it. If they ended eviction bans, foreclosure bans, mortgage forbearance programs, and unemployment benefits, just to name a few all at once, it would collapse the markets, guaranteed. So one of the hugest things as a real estate agent who's a full service real estate agent, meaning if you want to buy, if you want to sell, if you want to lease, I can help. I can help you with that. So during the buyer euphoria, the majority of the calls I was receiving are buyers. I'm looking for an agent I want to buy. And it was a real uphill battle, of course, because, you know, I would just... That's why I came to YouTube, is as these poor buyers, you know, desperate to buy, and then they got this buy at any cost mentality, and then they're, you know, it got to the point where they're overpaying just to do it because everybody else was doing it. And having saw that in 2008, and even though this crash will be different, it doesn't matter what causes the crash. It doesn't have to be the same thing. It's always something different. Every crash has been produced by something different. That's why in the comments a lot of times, this is different because in 2008 it was the ninja loan and bad loan. Every crash is something different. We just went through a global health pandemic. This is way worse than a ninja loan. Anyway, the common calls I'm getting now is landlord wants to sell. I got notice that I need to move. And now I need a rental, and we are, you know, there's a red hot rental market, right? And so that's one of the calls I'm getting now. It's been this, again, it's so, like I said, fact is stranger than fiction right now when it comes to working in real estate. I went from this heavy buyer. Now I'm seeing price reductions back on market, new listing. You know, we've seen these market shifts, buyers tapping out. Congratulations if you've waited, you've saved a ton of money. Now is not a bad time if you buy. The only thing I'll always say in my videos, if you buy a property right now, I don't care what your intentions are for the property, check its rent range. Make sure you talk to the lender and say, I'd like my payment to match this property's rent range. It gives you added insurance policy. If anything ever happens to you or your job, you can always put a renter in there and they can make your payment for you, which is something you should really be thinking about anyway. More of investment properties, and this is going to segue you into eventually doing that. So start with that, please. So one of the things that I produced a video talking about the rental needs. We're going to see more of that because we're going to have a lot of new renters entering the market. We're going to have some more market shifts. A lot of us renters now might decide we're back in now. We're ready to start to buy. Even with the big investment companies, the BlackRocks and all this chatter of Wall Street buying up the rentals, they're not going to be able to buy it all up. Just get a good realtor. There'll be a lot of opportunity for us. They can't buy everything, in my opinion. And I don't know if they necessarily want to. So with that being said, one of the things that I've done in the past, I've created a sample, is created a rental resume or a tenant overview letter. And why that's so important is because right now it's a very competitive rental market, just like we saw a few months ago, how buying was so competitive and even still a little competitive, but just not at the astronomical levels over asking price that we saw a few months ago. So one of the things that's very important, like when we were advising people when they were competing to buy houses, is to always include a personal letter to submit with your offer that we can show to the owner of why they should select us, because we're so, because we want the house so bad. And again, most of those letters barely got read because most people, put yourself in their shoes, they just want to know who's got the best offer so they can maximize their investment. But, it certainly doesn't hurt if you're the only offer or you're competing against one other offer, maybe include that personal letter and the other people don't, and you're really close. And, honey, I know these guys are $3,000 over, but these people are so nice. Look at this letter. So that's something that happened, and that's why we encourage that. So right now, one of the things that you really should do, because whether you need a rental or not, you could at some point. Knowledge is power, and maybe someone is going to need this. My guess is I help people out all the time with their rental needs and advice when it comes to that. And one of the things that really benefits anytime you're inquiring about a rental is just right out of the gate for your consideration, I've attached a tenant overview letter, even if it's in, right out of the gate. It's your first correspondence with the prospective landlord or owner. Is, hi, I love the property, would love to apply for it. I've attached a copy of a tenant overview letter for your consideration. Please let me know the next steps, if possible, to apply. That's it. Short and sweet. No life stories, no hard luck stories. They don't care if your owner you've been there for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years with perfect rent history, but your owner is now selling, you're getting kicked out. Now, while they might appreciate the 5, 10, 20 years of perfect rent history, the hard luck component, I personally just say leave that out. So here we go, folks. Listen. This is a sample of a tenant overview letter, and I want you to just I don't want to hold it too close, but if you have a business card from your employer or from your employment, go ahead and attach that. If you're handing this off in person, if you're just sending this as a PDF attachment, obviously you're not going to do that. Put your information, kind of like a job resume, your information, if you have a picture of yourself, sometimes it's nice for us to get a look at the person who wrote the letter. A little snapshot, your overview right here, professional, local person, clean, quiet, just a little blurb about yourself. Employer, who your employer is, your income, if you have, sources of income, savings, anything like that, cash reserves, credit score, maybe, in the income area, and then a summary, in closing thoughts, no pets, quiet, clean, pride of ownership to all my properties, blah, 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 and maybe a few references, a couple of your references, just something to set yourself apart from the massive amount of emails that we get of, hey, is this still available? Hey, can I come see this? Hey, it's like, especially when it's answers like we're gonna, that are already provided in the property description, and they read all the through, and now they're asking me questions. Like it says, yes, pets with pet deposit, and people are like, do you take pets? Well, it just set. Those are the ones that really turn us off because we're busy. We're filtering through these, and then we're getting to these vague. You come right out of the gate. Like I said, in final thoughts, folks, this is usable information for your kids if they're renting, for friends and family that could find themselves on the streets and needing a rental, just for anybody. I mean, I can't urge you. This is so important. Our job right now is to help people. The only way to increase our wealth is to increase the wealth of others. Please, please start adopting that lifestyle. One of the things that's allowed me to be successful not only in real estate, but in life. It's because any success I achieve, I want to give it out. I want to send it back out to people. I know that. That's what allows me. Like now I'm to the point, like I live much smaller than I need to. And it's not because I'm cheap. It's just because I have everything I want. Like, and it's just crazy to me, right? So now my job is to insulate myself for a downed economy because there's probably one around the corner. So with the tenant overview letter, when you send those out right out of the gate, love the property. I've attached a tenant overview letter for your consideration. Please let me know next steps to apply. Unless those next steps to apply are already given in the property description. Then you can just put, I've attached a copy of my application with my tenant overview. This has set so many people apart from the pack when applying for rental. I mean, think about it. How many people are going to do this? None, possibly. And then yours gets it. You're going to the top of the pile. I guarantee you. I guarantee you will go to the top of the pile if you have a good tenant overview letter. I know I should probably design a template and make it available. Maybe, you know, I will. Right now I'm busy, you're busy. You can figure this one out. I've shown you just a sneak peek of one. Put something together as a PDF, send it out. Don't give any personal information like driver's license numbers, social securities, no personal information. A snapshot of your strengths. No hard luck stories, no life stories, please. So I hope that helps you guys a little bit. Always here to do my best to bring it to you straight. Go make it count today. We'll see you on the next video.